Hi everyone. So this is my first weight loss vlog. I actually just filmed this a few minutes ago. It lasted for 20 minutes. I was sitting on my floor. My feet fell asleep, so I was sitting up to reach the camera on my iPad, and it sucked, so I'm redoing it. Alright, so this is my first weight loss vlog. I'm going to be doing weekly weigh-ins on this channel. Also, just like grocery hauls. I might do just like weight loss related stuff, some makeup related stuff like that. So this is my first video. I'm just laying on my bed right now. I have a vanilla cookie candle burning in the background that you cannot see, but it smells awesome. And so here we go. I'm going to try to make this not 20 minutes this time. Okay, so weight loss story. I've pretty much been overweight my entire life. I have a few pictures I'm just going to throw in. I'm not going to bother editing this in iMovie because I don't have the pictures scanned, so I'm just going to show you. So this is me when I was a baby. Pretty normal looking baby, not overweight. Pretty cute, if I do say so myself. I really started noticing my weight gain. My hair's driving me nuts. I really started noticing my weight gain when I was probably about this age. Whatever age this is, I think I was probably about 3 or 4. That's when I'm looking through the pictures, I really started noticing it then. This picture, I was probably 7 or 8, and that was for like a skating competition or a dance thing or something to do with that, and I was clearly overweight. This picture is from my 6th or 7th birthday, and again, it's just like I noticed being overweight throughout the pictures, mostly picked up when I was about 7 years old. I was always a little bit chubby, but from then onward it really started to become like overweight, not just chubby. So this little gem is from, oh my gosh, I look horrible. This is from Christmas. I was probably like maybe 13 in that picture. I would have been in grade 9 or 10, and that, I mean, definitely middle school, high school, I was always bigger than my friends. The very first time I ever realized I was overweight was when I was probably in grade 2. We had an after-school program after school at the Civic Center, and this boy, and I know who he is still, I ended up growing up with him and graduating with him. He came up to me and was like, "I can't play here, she's taking up the whole floor," meaning I was fat. And I was probably like, however old you are in grade 2, so I wouldn't have been very big. I was a kid, right? And then I just really started realizing, okay, I'm different than my friends. I'm getting picked on and my friends aren't. What is different? And I realized it was my weight. Okay, so I'm trying not to say so when I start saying I start correcting myself. When I was in grade 3, I switched schools. So I switched from one elementary school to another, and that's where I met my best friends, Kelsey and Ashley. We are still best friends today. We are 23 and 20. I'm 22 now, turning 23. One's 23 already, and the other one's turning 24 in February. So we're all still best friends now, and they've always loved and accepted me. I consider them to be both really gorgeous girls. They've always been very thin, normal weights, both of them, and they've always loved me and accepted me and not really made me feel any different because of my weight. So I love them for that, and I have other friends who love and accept me too, obviously. Tyler, if you're watching this, you're one of them, and I know you'll always love me. So my weight loss journey begins when my whole life I've done little diets here and there. My mom and I did Atkins together. Mom is very thin. She is also not going to consider herself very thin, but I think she's very thin. So she did Atkins with me. I can't remember how old I was, probably grade 10 or 11 maybe, probably grade 10. And we lost weight on that, but it's not sustainable weight loss. I know a lot of people do Atkins, and that's fine if that's something that's for you, but for me, I just did not want, I mean, at the time, I didn't know this is what I didn't want, but now I just would not want to consume that much fat. Atkins is all meats and cheeses and stuff like that, and I don't eat very much of that stuff anymore at all, so I wouldn't want to consume that all the time. So my weight loss story really began when I was 17, and I wanted to lose weight for prom. Prom is one of the biggest moments of your teenage life, and I thought it was like, it was just going to be the best night ever, and I needed to look good. So all of this stuff doesn't mean that much to me now. Obviously, I've had better nights of my life since prom. It's just a high school rite of passage, whatever, that I wanted to look good for. So I started losing weight probably started trying in February of 2007. I didn't really start getting into it until probably about March. I went to Florida in March of 2007, and I wanted to look good for Florida. I remember I probably had lost a little bit of weight before Florida, but not a terrible amount. And I'm going to explain some things that I haven't told a lot of people about how I lost weight. And this isn't healthy, and I do not condone this, and I would not do this now, but at the time, it's part of my story. It's part of what brought me to where I am now, so I will talk about it. When I was 17, I started restricting a lot, and I would never consider myself to have an eating disorder, to have had an eating disorder, but I had forms of disordered eating or disordered eating habits. One main one, the main reason I lost weight back then, was I began chewing and spitting my food. And I know it's disgusting, and you're probably all like, oh my god, that's really sick. And it is sick, you're right. But that's what I did. And I don't know where I initially got the idea from or where it came from. I don't know. I would not eat very much at school, and then I would come home after school. My mom usually worked from 3 to midnight. I would come home after school and just have these chewing and spitting binges where I would just eat a bunch of food, spit it into Sobeys bags, and then throw it in the garbage. And my mom eventually did find out about this, and I can't remember if she noticed the bags or the food just like disappearing or me not eating in front of her or what, but she did find out eventually. And basically through doing this, I lost probably 20 to 30 pounds or more. I remember I had to have my prom dress taken in about 2 sizes because I had lost so much weight from the time I bought the dress to when I actually had to wear it. I did not ever get to the weight I wanted to be. I still felt fat at prom. I still felt ugly, and I had really strong self-hatred issues back then. Everyone deals with being self-conscious about certain things of their body. I hated everything about myself, not just my body, just like my hair, my face, my everything. I hated. And I just automatically thought that people were going to feel the same way about me that I felt about myself. I felt like everyone I met was going to look at me and think, she's fat, she's ugly, you know what I mean? Just like all these things that I thought about myself, I automatically thought other people would think. So it made me very reserved when I was in high school. I always used to wear like hoodies in the summertime. People would be like, take off your hoodie, you must be boiling hot. I was, obviously, it was summertime, but I just hated myself so much. I just did not want to show my skin. I didn't want to show anything. I didn't want to show my arms, nothing. And I was so self-conscious that I just had this like deep hatred for myself, and I felt like everyone else would feel the same way about me that I felt about myself. And I obviously know that's not true. People don't care as much as I thought they did. And people have their own stuff going on and stuff like that. So that's just how I felt back then. I still have self-conscious issues, but it's getting better. I think that comes with growing up too. You kind of get out of that reserved little shell. So when I was 17, I made this binder, and I still have it. I've carried it with me through my apartment move from Mom's house. And I have a couple pages from the binder that I just tore out that I wanted to show you guys. and it is going to be backwards on my front-facing camera, so you're not going to be able to read it, but I'll read some of it to you. I'll just show you. So that's the page I made when I was 17.